Well, we love when our friends from Thornwell come on the show so we can really talk about important things, especially when it comes to fostering the need, how you can do it, and how Thornwell has been a part of the community for how many years now, Kaylee?
150 years in October.
That is crazy, helping children. How did it start? How did Thornwell start?
So Thornwell was the dream of a Presbyterian minister who saw children orphaned by the Civil War and said, I've got to do something. And it was actually a 10-year-old boy who gave him the first donation, 50 cents, to start his orphanage. And him and his wife, Mary, opened up a home with 10 kids. And 150 years later, Thornwell looks much different than it did back then. But we have innovated and adapted, and we continue to serve children and families.
It's crazy, like, the history of the United States, like right here. I mean, this was such a big part. Like, I mean, we're talking like, you know, the Civil War, like that was, you know, short enough that like we're still seeing.
And there's still members of both of those families who are involved in the work of Thornwell, and continuing to invest in advancing the welfare of children and families, because we know that right here, there's a desperate need.
Is it talk about that need too? Because sometimes if you're not in it, you don't know. And every time y'all come on, it's like you're reminded, like, yo, there are so many
and what a privilege to not know.
Right.
And that's okay. If you're not involved in child welfare, if you haven't seen foster care and adoption up close, if you haven't felt the need yourself, it's okay that you don't know. But you know, once you know better, you do better. And there are so many ways to get involved. So today in South Carolina, nearly 3,400 kids in foster care. That number has declined in recent years, but there's still not enough homes to welcome those kids in and keep them in their county of origin, keep them connected to their community, keep them, you know, bonded with their siblings. So there's still a need for more people to come to the table and say, how can I get involved?
Because what happens to the kids? Like, I mean, you said there's thousands that, I mean, well, what happens to those kids?
There's a gap of about 1,800 foster care placements, so homes for kids. And those kids who don't have homes, you know, right away when they come into care, already on the worst day of their life, you know, they're waiting long hours in DSS offices. You know, they are separated from their siblings. They are placed hours away from home, you know, or possibly not placed with a family. They're placed in a residential care facility. And there are some really good things that happen at those group homes.
Of course.
That we believe that every kid deserves a family.
Nothing will ever take the place of a family. And families can look a lot different. It's not, you know what I mean?
There are, we say, the wide and wonderful forms of family all deserve to be celebrated, but at the core are people caring for the needs of these children and these young people who are discovering who they are and navigating through some really, really tough things.
And what if people are watching and they're like, Kaylee, I would love nothing more than to be like, give me 5. You know, I want to help out, but sometimes that's just not realistic for some of our viewers. Is there something else we can do other than physically foster?
Yes, take a step, right? And it can be as simple as learning about what the need is in your community and sharing about that need. It can look like volunteering as a tutor, a mentor. It can look like bringing dinner to a foster family when they get, you know, a new kid in their home, or when they say goodbye to that kid.
That's so, I mean, that you get so attached, and, and it could be a year, it could be 2 days. I mean, you really never know.
I've had kids in my home, you know, just for a few days, and I've had kids in my home for a few years. And the benefit, the good and rewards of fostering is in saying goodbye, seeing a family restored. But it's also bittersweet. It's heartbreaking.
Of course.
So, you know, wrap around those people in your community who are on the front lines. Bring a gift card to a caseworker who, you know, has those kiddos who are just coming into care and they're hungry. And they're, you know, a treat to McDonald's or whatever it is. You know what? We say time, talent, treasure. You know, do you have a lawnmower? Can you go mow a single foster mom's yard? You know, do you have, Whatever it is. Do you have kids who have outgrown their toddler clothes?
Right.
And you can donate those, to a foster family in need.
Toys, books, like all the things to make someone coming into someone's home that maybe they don't have children, so they need, some of the things to make it look like a nice kid-friendly home.
All the things that you want for your kid, we want for these kids who, are out of their home for whatever reason.
Yes, I love it. Thornwell doing such great things. If you would like to learn more about Thornwell, their cause, their mission, how you can get involved, they do tours. It's a gorgeous camp. I mean, there's so much to learn. You can go to thornwell.org. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Megan.